Welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast counting down everything this week that made you say, what a time to be alive. And now, Patrick Monahan, Kath Barbadoro, and Eli Uden.
Folks, welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast that counts down the things you choose to make say thing. That's Top of the Podcast. I'm Patrick Monahan.
I'm Kath Barbadoro.
I'm Eli Uden.
Hi.
Had to hop on that one. That was a quick cut on the song.
Yeah. Well, it's a good. This is the summer everyone wanted. This is the season you clamored for. 90, 95.
Man, it's a hot one.
Man.
I remembered I went yesterday. I was like, because I don't, leave my apartment too much, especially with the little dog that craves my presence. But I got the first official massive drop of sweat straight down the spine yesterday, and I was like,
Ooh.
oh yeah, we're here.
I love that. I love that. I think, I don't know. I am not like a fan of the heat, but there's something about just like the acceptance of just being sweaty that like, I don't know. I kind of don't mind just like submitting to it, just being like, this is what it's going to be, and I'm going to embrace it.
I despise it. I have never accepted it. I hate it. I want to take showers all the time, and then it's no. Just the like stickiness. I don't know if it's a different kind of sweat or whatever. It's just based on what I eat and how I live my life, but it's not. It's not something I want on me at all. It's never. When I sweat, it really feels like toxins are being pushed out. Like,
don't you like that?
Really?
Are you like not
then
a?
They're on my skin.
Are you like not a sauna guy either? Like none of that is appealing to you.
The sauna's almost. It's something about it's a different kind of sweat in a sauna, at least in my mind and how I feel. It's like because there's like a eucalyptus scent going on. Usually, there's something to kind of. It feels a little more antiseptic or whatever. Where sweating just out in the world, just raw dog in it. It's like it feels like a weird collaboration of like the worst toxins in my body mixing with just kind of whatever's in the air to form just like a
which
film.
is garbage smell. That is what's in the air when it's a sauna.
Yeah. It feels more like something where you're like real New York summer sweat is like if you're like walking through an alien spaceship or something and there's like something that forms on you and they're like, you can't spend more than 20 minutes in there. You have to come, debride you, like scrape it all off or it'll build up.
They won't let you back on the ship. They gotta hit you with the flamethrower. That's it.
Yeah. Burn everything
I'm forming a cocoon that instead of a butterfly is like turning me into a worm, into a disgusting like nematode. Not a fan.
It's wormifying you.
You want the stuff off of you. I feel like you want to leave a trail. That's what you want. You don't want it to stay on you like a snail.
I think
that's what's on every subway seat. It's great. We love it.
I also feel like, I don't know if they've probably done studies and stuff on this. I feel like there might be a discrepancy in like what zones everyone's biggest active sweat is in. And I feel like the people who are like, I love getting it out. Like you must be sweating different places than I'm sweating because it's not like, I never look like the Gatorade commercial or whatever where it's like a little evenly, it's just like
a little
river down my spine into my ass. That's like 90%. By far the most efficient pipe out is like right at the top of my spine.
Yeah. You have you have like a creek bed back there that just as soon as it gets hot.
It's like a little
log
going. Flume. It's a log flume and there's all this bacteria that woo straight down into the ass crack. It's no good. Simply no good.
I feel like a lot of it depends on the humidity whether I'm okay sweating cuz like Austin, when I lived in Austin the first summer I lived there, there were like, I don't know, 90 days over 100 in a row or something like that. And I didn't have a car and I'd have to like walk around and wait for the bus and stuff. And it didn't bother me that much because it was like an oven. So like you go out and you're just like, I'm going into the oven. I know what this is going to be. And you would sweat a ton, but it wasn't so humid so it would actually evaporate off of you as opposed to like staying on. Like yesterday, I had to walk for about an hour and it was really humid and I had like a backpack on and that like back to backpack contact where like it can't leave. It's like not going anywhere. That's miserable.
Man, it's a hot one.
Exactly.
Even though I know it's the opposite because of whatever wet bulb or whatever, like, but humid heat feels like gross. But one of the few times I've been to Austin was for like a convention, and it was in the like August, like real, like the ceiling of it.
It gets humid there too. But
That feels, that heat, that dry heat, on one hand, you're like, oh, I'm dry, but also that feels more medically concerning to me whenever I'm there. I'm like, I feel like I could just keel over. Like
I kind of like it. I'm like, I'm
getting
cooking. I'm getting cooked, you know? That to me feels like it's getting the toxins out. It's like baking out the poison. You know, I don't know. I'm glad I don't live there anymore. It is miserable to have to like not enjoy being outside for, you know, several months in the summer. But like, I don't know. There's something about it I kind of like. I don't know.
I was almost toying with on my dog walks, which is an incredibly difficult look for a white man to pull off. But the tea towel under the baseball cap, I'm like, that
oh, hell
looks
yeah.
great. You get that thing a little wet, especially when you're bald, and it's. Boy, that's people.
You should experiment with that because, like, I do think from a utilitarian perspective, it makes a lot of sense. But I understand why you're hesitant.
You also don't like really realize that it's like I think add it to the fucking list, but being bald doesn't help with the heat because you don't realize how much your hair is like. You don't, kind of when you're out and sweaty in your hair, you can kind of comb it back with you're like, oh, it's, like, it's like a natural salt spray where it's just like eyes. It's just like going off your forehead and into your eyes. I don't know. It's not an attractive.
I was going to say hair I think keeps your head a lot hotter, but you're right that it is a barrier between sweat and your eyes. That does seem hair. So you got the creek bed in the back and you got the waterfall in the front, just right into the eyes.
Yeah, and they're like hair makes your head hotter, except that it also protects your skin, so you're not just like roasting
cooking
up top. Yeah,
your eyebrows are like the levees in New Orleans. You got a lot. There's a lot riding on those eyebrows.
They're load bearing, really, and I don't have especially thick ones. If I was rocking some Eugene Levy's, I'd be okay. But this is going right through. They're not doing a whole lot.
The USMC has done an unsatisfactory job at fortifying my eyebrows.
Yeah.
The USMC are the people that I go to get them threaded. That's the Marine Corps.
The
engineers, the levies.
Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers is opening.
That's what I was thinking of.
Threading. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's
very important.
Yeah, and you gotta. This was like a riff. I don't know why I couldn't keep myself. I think you guys will understand. This is like a common comic thing where it's like. When I was doing my special, and I was like, "Now is the time to riff." It's like, why?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
One of them did work out, and it was like that. You realize every summer when I'm bald and if I'm not wearing a hat or I'm going to the beach or anything, it's like I've never felt more like a hamburger than when I'm like patting like sunscreen on top of my head, like it's special sauce. Like I'm like, there you go.
I'm going to animal style at the beach today. Extra shack sauce up there.
That's what being sweaty feels like in the wild. Is it feels like when you finish like you're animal style and not.
It's crazy. Like I went camping last weekend and it is wild how within 2 hours of going camping, you're just like fully an animal, like instantly covered in stuff. Just like the sticky combo of dirt and then sealed in with sunscreen and bug spray and then more dirt on top of it, just like, and sweat, just like right away. I got there and I went kayaking, and not like kayaking, like took a little boat out onto a little placid creek for like maybe 90 minutes. And I came back and I was like, I am unfit to be around any other human being right now. Like I am so... you have
layers built up. You feel like
exactly.
fucking Groot. You're like, I have bark skin. Like
you become Groot, especially if it's hot out. You become Groot like so fast. It's wild.
Yeah, everything sticks to you. You're like, it's fucking Katamari Damacy or whatever. You know the game where the little alien pushes her on the ball. You're just like picking up everything. It's like more pine needles. Yeah.
It totally worked. No. I didn't get any bug bites. You just got to get to your campsite and like roll around in the dirt, and then when you're getting your kayak out of the creek, you have to step into like knee deep creek mud, and then you're set. You're good for the rest of your trip.
Adorable Diamond Dave moment from my recent trip home was my mom got some citronella incense to burn to keep mosquitoes away, which I don't think works. I think that's not real.
Well, DC is like mosquito ground
DC
zero. It's
blows,
bad,
dude.
It's the swamp.
It's the humidity. Yeah, the damn swamp. Drain the damn swamp. But she lit the incense, and apparently my dad had never seen incense or knew how it worked because he kept being really, really like concerned that it was still lit. And we're like, that's what happens. They know it stays lit. Like, it's not a fire hazard.
That's incredible that he went that long with no incense. I thought there's no, like, in Jewish religious stuff, never any incense. You don't I feel like that makes it weird.
Maybe Sephardic. Definitely not Russian Jewish ancestry. Not a lot of incense in the...
I feel like that music made it feel really Inquisition-y, and I didn't like it.
What do you think? Yeah. It's the reverse. You're quizzing me on Jewish knowledge to gauge my devotion or ever. Yeah. Not in the Russian Jewish diaspora. Not a big incense.
They
Just
got some in the
steam
Russian
of a
Orthodox
borscht.
Church, so I'm kind of surprised. Borscht
The
steam,
swinging-
that's a good rite.
I think it's just also maybe like so many of our things have been burned down that they're not as big on smoke in temples now.
Fair enough. This will send up some. It'll trigger people's fight or flight if we have smoke going on in here. Fair enough.
Yeah. You don't want to just walk down the aisle with a swinging. What do they call those cool things? They got a cool ass name too.
Aren't they a sensor? Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Sensor.
That's. I know what you mean. I don't know if I ever knew the name really, but I'll take your word for it.
Those things are just, they got the big metal thing and smoke's coming out and they're swinging and you're like, tell me you can't whip that thing into the side of like a troll's head and do fire damage. That would be
There's
sick.
got to be some like cool martial arts thing about a monk where they like swing that around and hit people with it.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be sick.
Yeah.
My church didn't have incense. We were too like, because I was Episcopal, which is like, they're like, we want to be Catholic, but nothing too ethnic. Let's slow down on this. So yeah, there was unfortunately no incense. But
no sense, please. No sense.
Those are that's limited to certain the churches I went to. It was limited to certain like the higher like the big money days. And you'd also sometimes get the
blackout dates if you have like the cheap season tickets. That's when
right.
they do
and when they put the tree branch in the holy water and they just blast you with that, they kind of rebaptize everybody. And
if you're halfway to a banya, it's like a birch branch.
If you're sitting on the aisle, you are getting smoked. You are just getting absolutely. It's like being on Splash Mountain.
Everybody getting ponchos on the ends of the pews, like
the splash zone.
You're in the splash zone. I mean,
now demon screening. You're getting lit up with holy water.
I feel like there's a Catholic permutation of a dodgeball gimp who's fighting to sit on the side. Who wants all that?
I gotta get extra. He also loves getting the huge cross on his forehead of ashes.
Yes,
like,
make it
come
extra
on,
big.
Padre, light me up.
And that's just the guy who eventually becomes the guy from Angels and Demons who's like whipping himself with a cat of nine tails or whatever.
Yeah.
See, I was picturing more. That's what Mark Wahlberg is like. You got to get prayed up. You got to give me the big ash.
Yeah. You got to make me look like like Furiosa, dude. Hit me with the ash. Middle up.
I actually want the negative where you put the cross and then you blow the ash, so it's like the forehead's all ash and then the cross is skin.
You want the
That's
Simba?
what I want.
That's the Simba.
Yeah, he wants the Simba.
Like instead of amen, you get when he's getting the ashes, it's like you are from dust, and to dust you shall return. and instead of saying amen, you say hell yeah, dude. And I was like, okay, not really appropriate, but yeah.
Heck yeah.
Anybody saying heaven yeah?
Heaven yeah.
I was also going to say this is not going to do any favors to the stereotypes of the Jewish community, but I will say like churches I've been in or whatever, like man. Kath, you have that bit about how movie theaters are good on AC. Synagogues are blasting. Synagogues
Hell
are
yeah.
ice cold. They know that we're not in there. They know someone will raise a point of complaint if it's hot in the damn synagogue. Like, can we get that a little higher? Yeah, huddled around the eternal flame for warmth. They're like, but yeah, maybe it's also climate control for all the scrolls that are being kept up front. There's
That's true. We've talked about how it's nuclear reactor vibes up there. You got to be very careful with those things.
You can't touch them. You got to use the little metal hand. They're very, despite being manufactured in modern times, they're still like, it's part of this pomp and circumstance that these disintegrate if you touch them. So make them as weak as possible. No oils.
I mean, any excuse to use a little hand. I feel like there should be more options for that. I think that just seems. I should be able to like eat wings with those. Not to be sacrilegious, but like
the little yods.
Yeah,
you'd have to get custom ones because the little metal hand is shaped like a pointer finger, but you could get one that's like little claws,
wings.
Then,
yeah.
Cool. I feel like mezuzahs are cool too. Like just as a vibe, an object vibe. I love to have a little. I don't have one, but like, nice to have a little force field up in the door frame. Whatever.
Yeah.
You do usually get a customized yacht, at least in my experience. It's one of your bar mitzvah things. You get like like it's your sword, or you get a little personal that you literally. There's nothing you will use less times in your life than that. But
Then your personal yad.
Your personal special yad. Yeah, for pointing. For pointing in a language that you did not learn because it's impossible. So you just, memorize by sound the whole thing anyways. But yeah.
I was gonna before we have to get to numbers, but I learned recently that like there's like a siren that sounds like the Purge siren or something that you hear sometimes in Brooklyn, and apparently it's the start of the Sabbath siren.
Oh, incredible! Yeah, where you live, it would make sense.
I had no idea what that was. Like I just I don't know. Sometimes people are testing an alarm system or something, and it never occurred to me that happens at the same time every.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Everyone stop wiping. Get out of the elevators. You can't be working. Start tearing those squares, baby. You got to be ready for the weekend.
Stop it. Everyone
put your lazy. Weird little children in like the strange box that they have. That's another thing.
Getting in the box. It's time. Speaking of things it's time for. Oh,
yes,
sorry,
numbers.
what were you going to say? Numbers.
I was just like truly the only, you sometimes see those pictures of like old New York or whatever, and there's like those little cages they have outside a window that like they put baby in. They put baby in. And
they put baby in.
Yeah, they put baby in there.
Like Brooklyn Hasid's the only group of people where I'm like, they still kind of have those. I was like, can we tell them? Don't let them be out there. They're suspended above the street.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Put baby in there. Mm-hmm. Give it a try.
Put baby in there. Baby likes it in there. Baby likes.
Number 5.
Yeah, number 5.
Your heart and make it real, or else forget about it.
Number 5.
Man, forget. I hate when singers like really just like take on an almost patois for a chorus.
Give me your heart and make it real, or else forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, it's like if you said that in a regular voice, it would be like people are like, "Hey, man, don't do that."
It's the phonetics. You can't sing an R.
Forget about it.
I like later when he's just fully like "Les don't forget." It's just like complete. He's doing like he's doing.
Becomes Cajun all of a sudden.
He's doing the guy from the Water Boy. Like that's basically him.
Yeah, give it a break, Tony Chicheri. Okay, let's fucking dial it back. Number 5 this week. This comes to us from AR Scourge of the Stars. Fucking Dark Souls ass boss, dude. We got Radon dialing in. This is a story about a hotel that has, unfortunately, they had a unique wake-up call, which I guess wake-up calls are still around. I guess I knew you could still get them, but
I want to put this responsibility on someone else. I want to get another person involved in this. Take the pressure off me to not hit snooze on the iPhone.
Yeah, dude, I think I remember reading, because I have to do like Reddit roundups for work, and so I was talking about that they like ordered a wake-up call and the person working there was young and didn't really know how it works, so they just walked into their room in the morning instead of calling their phone. Like, what are you doing?
I do feel like there
supposed
is...
to wake you up.
Hey, what's up? Hello?
Hey, you gotta get up, man.
Shaking them out of bed.
Hey.
You called me.
You're gonna be late.
Moving,
The camel
send the
moving
comes.
them into the bathroom where they can sleep against the radiator. The classic move.
I do feel like getting a wake-up call, like, yes, we all have phones with alarm clocks on them, but I do feel like involving another person is, I'll like take it more seriously. Like,
Yeah.
it'll be like, this
Yeah.
other person wants me to get up. I'm letting them down if I don't get up.
I definitely do it because you also have to like become like a social being for like even 10 seconds. That like wakes. That,
Yeah,
like, jars-
exactly.
You know, you have to like
Yeah.
interact with somebody as opposed to just like touching phone.
It jostles something loose in you when you have to answer a phone and be like, okay, thank you, even
Yeah.
though I'm
Where did-
mad at you.
Where does their responsibility end for a wake? Like, they just call and they wake you up. I mean, they don't like ask you math questions or whatever, but like, do they call
They don't
you
have to
again?
call
Do
again. They don't call again to check. I don't
They
think.
don't do mom level, like, are you really up? Okay, show me
Yeah,
your
no.
toothbrush or whatever.
They come in and rip the comforter off the bed so that you can't be warm anymore.
Get up.
Yeah, well, me and Kath clearly had very similar child wake-up experiences, sort of, basically.
In retrospect, I like really feel for my parents because it was like a battle every day. Like
Oh, yeah.
Get her out.
Get her out. There were like tactics. Like each side was innovating.
Tactics.
Yeah,
It was-
It was a pitched
Yeah.
battle for sure.
There would be like, they'd come in and there would be like a new like defense system that I'd created that would prevent whatever they did the day before from working.
Seriously.
Like, very serious.
Yeah,
learning.
no, it's like it is. You would adapt. You would learn and adapt to try to stay asleep as long as you possibly could. It was fucked up,
Yeah.
man. Our parents should compare notes about this. I feel like it's. Yeah, I'm glad to meet someone else who had this as like a major component of their childhood.
Yeah, I would scream nonsense at them. The one they always remember is that they were trying to wake me up and I kept yelling that it was on the CD. I was like, it's on the CD. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like really mad.
The element
yeah,
of confusion.
Like, is it on the CD? Hang on. What is he? Hang on. What is he talking about? Maybe it's on the CD.
Yeah. Well, what I might have needed, actually, probably, but this is a hotel in Chongqing, in China, Lehe Le Du Longjong Holiday Hotel. Okay, and my pronunciation may be a bit off.
The Labubu Hotel.
Labubu Hotel. But yeah, so what it happens is that if you get a wake up call from them, I don't know if you have to. I think they probably have both. You could probably like regular because this would be wild to get.
You've
if you
come
didn't
to
know what's happening.
China and you've come to Chongqing.
Oh, there we go.
That is,
Yeah.
to be clear, that is Ryan, the
The
famous, right?
Chinese Trump impersonator, Ryan.
Yeah, yeah. So what their wake up thing includes is that they bring this is just glossed over, one of the hotel's red pandas. The fact that they own red pandas is, I think,
One
deserves
of.
a little more.
Also.
One of.
Yeah. One of the
fleet.
roster.
I have
Yep.
no red pandas.
Yeah. They bring them up to your bedroom and they allow the panda to roam freely around the room and climb onto the bed. Cute. Like Kath, maybe you're with me on this. I would like, especially, how endangered are red pandas? There's not a lot of them, right? They're not doing.
Google this. I know the Brooklyn Zoo has one. Red panda.
But they're
Most
not, like,
I feel like most zoos have them. They're endangered apparently, but they're in the middle of the.
They're in,
world.
yeah.
They're like
Threatened.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Because, like, if an animal like just got on my bed and tried to wake me up, I feel like I would lash out.
I'd launch it across the room. Yeah.
Yeah. Now with Iggy, I'm not throwing her across the room, but like, I definitely wake up, confused
Right.
and
Well, I mean,
wild.
if the red pandas are trained to wake me up in the same way my cat is, where she very politely starts tapping me with her paw. That's how she wakes me up. It's like, pardon, excuse me. Can I have crunchies, please? Crunchies, ma'am.
Crunchies.
Like
Yeah.
if they
Crunchies tonight?
Crunchies tonight, Queen. That's my cat.
Crunchies every 15 minutes, Queen.
every minute of her life. Crunchies. I know. I could go for some crunchies right now. I don't know about you.
Oh man.
If the red pandas do that, then I might be I might be into it. But I'm imagining that video of the monkey in the hotel. That's how the panda is.
Have you seen the extended cut of
The
that?
extended cut.
There's because I guess he kept the monkey, and there's 8 of them now, and it never gets better. There's one that's running around, including launching itself off a mounted television, and then there's another one where it just crams itself behind his bed. It's grabbing t-shirts and pulling them back there. It's
Yeah,
And
that's
of
what I'm
course-
imagining the panda's doing in your room.
Man,
yeah.
that noise is
Highly
so
recommend
funny.
those videos.
That noise
It's
is so
so
funny
good.
too, because that sounds like when one of the Python guys is playing a woman, that woo, that little noise.
Yeah,
monkeys
it's
is
a
in
guy
Faulty
dressed up
Towers
as
or
an
whatever.
it's a guy dressed up as an old British lady saying ooh.
Oh no!
Once you're done listening to this episode, don't stop now, but make sure you see that. I mean, the monkey doing a full belly flop into a full bathtub from the ceiling. It's just
Well, apparently
incredible.
Terry Jones is there in a wig. Yeah.
Yeah, just real X Games mode shit
Yeah.
from those monkeys.
Also, so it's they bring him in. Apparently, there climbs a tree in the small courtyard. Then it goes with a staff member to the couple's room, and it's given apple chunks and hops on the bed, which that's messy. I don't want to have apple chunks in my
Get
bed.
the apple out of my bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Do they- Are they house trained and stuff? I guess they must be enough to,
yeah.
They
guess
live in the
so.
hotel. They're like little Eloises, little panda
Yeah.
Eloises.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like.
And then, so there have been concerns about injury or disease transmission, voiced by, of course, the worst subset of people online. Hate to hear from people online.
Oh dear, netizens.
Keep it to yourself, netizens.
Yeah, and this is the only thing of it that seems somewhat concerning to me is that they have a rule. They're the hotel said that young children should always be accompanied by an adult during the wake-up call session. First of all, what if child is staying by themselves in a hotel room and getting a wake-up call? What is
Eloise.
this?
That's
A
Eloise.
little boss baby has come to Chongqing to meet with, his manufacturers.
You've
and-
come to China
It's-
and you've come to Chongqing.
It's baby Shelby. Baby
the boss-
Shelby flying
boss
to
baby's
China
there.
alone.
He's having the wonderful herb. The wonderful herb that cures all disease.
Yeah. So as far as this goes, they're being asked to stop. They're just getting they're not getting a lot of specifics. They're just getting the classic World Animal Protection Organization just going, "Hey, we just don't do this with those animals. That's
Yeah, come
not
on,
what
man.
they're. This isn't the animal you do that with."
They don't like it.
And they add that the pandas are naturally sensitive animals, and being forced to interact with guests could trigger a stress response. So yeah, any animal smaller than a rhino or a deer is to some extent naturally sensitive. I think because we've historically been killing them, we are a predator to them.
I feel like there's a correlation. I don't know if science has gotten to the bottom of this, but I feel like there's a correlation between emotional sensitivity in animals and having little hands. Don't you feel like any animal with little hands? I feel like it's easy to throw them off their game a little bit. Including human beings.
There's some stress once you get opposable thumbs or a bundle pack with some level of existentialism and consciousness.
Right,
They're
right.
Yeah.
It develop opposable thumb and theory of mind come together somehow in a package deal, which I guess is good because if not, opposable thumbs on something that isn't sensitive it would destroy us. So
yeah, it's because it gives them the ability to hold up their little hands and look at their palms and go, "What am I?" That's what you get when you get an opposable thumb. You can't do that with paws. I'm a monster.
Yeah.
It's funny. This reminds me the animal in the hotel. There's a Jackie Chan movie that I remember seeing in the theater, and I had to look it up because I couldn't remember which one it was. But it was released here as First Strike, and he ends up at one point he's in a hotel. I think it's one of the police stories, but he's in a hotel in Australia, and there's just a koala on like a tree in his room. He has like a suite. So like they just like apparently in the really nice suites in this hotel, there's just a koala hanging out there. And it's like, okay, sure. That's what I mean. I would, when you're a kid, you're like, hell yeah, dude. There's a guy in there. I like that.
That feeling when you're flying as an unaccompanied minor during a snowstorm in China, and you also want to meet a red panda.
Yeah, I guess there are little Chinese Shelbys checking into this hotel. Chongqing's in the mountains. I bet they get snow. Getting stuck there. Little
Chinese Shelby.
Walked to his single occupancy hotel room with his Delta wings pinned to his mittens. And
Chinese Shelby, the bit that leads to the end of the podcast.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Chinese Shelby is the kind of bit that has brought, several other podcasts with people we know on to great fame and success.
That's true.
I don't know if
That's
we
true.
want to cut it off so quick.
That's a fair point. Number 4 comes to us from Bookmark 19 in the Discord, and good news, everyone. Good news for people who, from the perspective of what am I supposed to do about it, and that's really the. That's been my attitude with all this coverage of this issue. We're talking about microplastics here, and
not my problem.
The conventional wisdom was, don't drink out of plastic bottles, drink out of glass bottles, use other sources of to get your stuff because that has less plastic. Well, they did some research, and guess what? Drinks including water, soda, beer, and wine sold in glass bottles contain more microplastics than those in plastic bottles.
Does
it
your
make
face.
sense?
also, not just
More.
also, but more. It's worse to do that. What we told you was statistically wrong.
So, Good news. Yeah, it's the researchers found an average of 100 particles per liter in glass bottles of soft drinks,
That's
lemonade,
so
iced tea,
much.
and beer. That was 5 to 50 times higher than the rate detected in plastic bottles or metal cans. And the PhD student who conducted the research said, we expected the opposite result. Yeah, no shit. So, where does that leave us here? I don't know, dog.
I think
whatever.
Maybe we got to scuttle the preventative care take on microplastics at this point. I think it's going to be a get 'em out situation.
How do we get 'em out?
fucking riddance.
Exactly.
We need a plastic magneto to be able to just pull it out of everybody. Although that would probably kill everybody. So I'm
It
not
will
sure what the solution
rip
is.
through our brains or whatever.
My brain.
That plastic spoon that's in there is gonna shoot out.
Yeah.
He's
He's making that big ball of plastic over his head, and then he throws it, but it's just like not very heavy. It just kind of bounces off the X-Men. Doesn't really hurt them.
Yeah. They can, well, at least they can put him in a metal jail, so that's huge. They don't have to build a custom jail. He just goes in regular jail.
They gotta hope there's no plastic Magneto. That if I was Magneto, that'd be my number one priority to recruit. Is like, hey, I can't do plastic stuff. Any mutant exhibiting plastic control powers, please contact me immediately.
Right,
we can team up.
I guess we got to build a wood jail now. Okay, fine.
We're getting to like a Three Little Pigs situation of Magnetos.
I was gonna say it's like the bosses in Mega Man or something.
Oh no, it's
actually
Brick
just
Nito.
the wedding anniversaries. That's how you determine what jail they're in.
Yeah. This jail is made
jail.
entirely out of paper. It's crazy.
Yep.
Origami jail. Yeah.
So so there's good. You're drinking. No matter what you're drinking out of, no matter what you're drinking microplastics. So say hello to them as they're going because they're going in. They're already.
We need
in.
a Mark Ruffalo getting to the bottom of this. That's the only way we're gonna fix it. We need him.
Mm-hmm.
We need him investigating.
Either him from Spotlight or Zodiac. I'll take either one. One of the.
I want Dark Waters. That's the one where he does the Teflon. You got
He's getting to
Teflon
the
in your
bottom
blood.
of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
He's a good guy to get to the bottom of something.
Any of those. Those are all the same character.
It's a good little micro genre, as the Mark Ruffalo getting to the bottom of something.
No bad movies in that micro genre so far. So
yeah.
He's in a new show on HBO that's him getting to the bottom of stuff that's coming out soon. Very excited. Very pumped about that. It's called Task. Because it's a task force. Terrible name.
Yeah,
Real dog
useless
shit name.
Completely useless name. Okay. Just, yeah, like one step above TBD as a name. Pretty good.
Title
There's
TK,
also
the show.
TK. Yeah.
Yeah, they do say here, too, that apparently for some reason that wine doesn't really do this. So maybe we're just going back to
Ancient Roman
the
mode?
medieval times where everyone drank beer because all water was contaminated. So everyone just has to be drunk all the time because it's the only thing that doesn't fill you with microplastics.
Yeah, we're all Tyrion in Game of Thrones. That's where we're headed here. Just wine instead of water.
The winos are going to outlive us all.
Very tight calves when we wake up. That's the main thing I remember from those books about Tyrion. They always talk about how tight his calves were when he woke up because he was hungover. So.
I guess
what was he doing when he was
It's
drunk?
wine
Climbing
o'clock,
stairs?
y'all.
Yeah. I guess in Game of Thrones times they didn't have the term Charlie horse for that.
Yeah. He's not
No
doing it.
Charlies in those books.
He's got some plantar fasciitis going. You know, it's tough. It's tough for him.
Those wine skins, there's crazy tannins in the Game of Thrones wines, for sure.
Maybe that's how we avoid microplastics is we start using skins again. Everything's in a bladder. Maybe that's what we do.
Bring back bladders, bring back horns, drinking horns. We can get back into that.
That's cool.
We do all this. You can buy those. I wouldn't recommend it, but they do.
I feel
them.
like
It's
that
a step
would be
too far.
It would be a really good strategy for bars to serve stuff in horns because people would drink so much because you can't put them down.
Yeah,
I feel like people would buy way more stuff because you got to finish it kind of in one go.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
gotta
I got this
slam it.
horn here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then probably, I think that or it just would be a lot of drunk people trying to put them down and just spilling them constantly. And they're like, all right, we're going to go to flat horns.
Or there'd be there'd be a repurposing of all those industrial Edison bulb type restaurants where they serve you the fries in the little cone holder. That just is what you put the horn in. Just one of those.
Yeah. Horn holders. Yeah. You got, because fries really need just an entire, they're not a food that you can totally just put on a plate. They got to be propped up carefully, make it difficult for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry everybody, you're full of plastics. You got like a ghost gun's worth of plastic in you at all times.
Yep.
Yeah. It seems like we're doing okay so far. I mean, maybe this is why everyone can't read now. Unclear, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be killing us yet.
Don't give them that out. Don't let people it's probably microplastics. Like, have you ever looked at a book? No, but it's probably microplastics making you not want to. Yeah. It's,
plastics repel paper. That's the thing.
Dude, it's dark. If you look up, there's teachers that are like, hey, has anyone else noticed their kids cannot write? It's like that everyone's handwriting is completely illegible because everyone types all the time.
Good stuff.
We're doing good. Good stuff. Hey everybody, if you're enjoying this episode, check out our bonus episode where I go on a bit of a tear about how I think Instagram is hurting me mentally and emotionally.
Then we do a lot of diving into what happens in Norbit, something that none of us have seen. Shelby may have seen it.
No, none of us have seen it. If this sounds fun to you, or if you just are clamoring for more content, get on our Patreon, patreon.com/whatatimepod. You get an ad-free version of the main episode every week, as well as an additional bonus episode. So check it out.
Number 3?
Sure.
Number 3.
Number 3 comes to us from Punished Eric in the Discord. If you would like to submit stories, you can join our Patreon at the $10 a month level, get access to our private Discord channels, and submit stories such as this one. This is, I feel like this would be an interesting coworker bonding situation just because of how silly it is. So, a British Airways flight crew, I believe it was flight attendants and stuff. You get booked into a hotel by your company for a layover, and they were in Milan and they got booked into motel. It's mo.om, Moom, unclear.
Moom.
But there's apparently a Motel Moom and a Moom Hotel, and they are very different establishments. And The flight crew, there were 12 people. They got booked into Motel Moon, which is a like sex dungeon. Basically, it's a freak hotel. It's for people who want to sleep in, quote, let's see, human dog
they
cages.
Don't want to sleep at all. Let me tell you.
That's true. Sleep, maybe not the best way to describe this. We got bondage sets, mirrored ceilings, human dog cages. It's a human cage. You don't need to have another word in there. And leather harnesses, adding, quote, it was obvious that this wasn't the place the crew was supposed to stay. So, honestly, like, yeah, the cages don't look great. There's apparently a vagina.
They do look like cages. Which is to say, not great.
But I was going to say, like, there's another room in here that's obviously supposed to be sexy, but that I do think would be sort of fun to stay in, which is, I'll send it to you. It's like a round bed.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one. That's also, now you got to divvy up the rooms, and it's like one of you is staying in just kind of like a vaguely sexual room, and then the other, like some of you, it's so funny, by the way, that it's a cage, but it has like a queen or a California king in it. It's like very... strange.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's room in there. You could, without the cage around it, it would be a perfectly fine place to sleep. It's just like I'm not here for this harsh lighting.
But yeah.
Also, like, even if you're like, okay, well, this isn't where we were supposed to stay, but we got these California kings in the cages, whatever. The next problem is, quote, they were kept awake by thrill seekers moaning and groaning all day and night.
Those are ghosts.
Moaning and groaning.
Thrill seekers also. I think of like skydiving, roller coasters.
Yeah.
Thrill seekers is not just people trying to get off in your hotel, trying to bang in the hotel.
Moaning and groaning.
Wow. Good. Jesus. Good headline. Good caption here with a nice little typo. They described it as a, quote, comical mistake, but it meant the team could not get any seep, which is essential to the safety. Boy, I bet they could get some seep if they went looking for it.
There's seeping in there, no question. Not a lot of sleep, quite a bit of seep.
Be concerned at the very least about water damage in this hotel. Be like, I think there's some sort of mold, no matter how careful you're being. It's also like these sort of hotels almost feel like, even though they're obviously sex hotels, like in a way they feel like quaint that anyone still is going to these or whatever. Because I don't know, but in the modern times, it's like, most of the experience that most people would have with like wild sex acts is probably through, online pornography. And from what you see, those are just in regular hotels. There's a lot of stuff going on apparently in just regular
Airbnbs.
At the Bogart Hotel, the Comfort and Elegance, you'll love it. Airbnbs.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
That's always a classic funny like Pornhub comment is like, I know this is a Hampton Inn. Like, those are always
they're like good. Obama. They love the Hampton Inn. They know where the light switches are. That's why they should film all their porn there.
Well, they do know how to light those rooms and stuff. It's the same every time.
Well, looking at some of these, I mean, I think it's a classic inclusion in like a sex room is like a lot of mirrors in weird places. And for filming, that is a nightmare. This is, the cinematographers. True. I'm looking at the round bed room. There's 3 mirrors all facing the bed. It's like, you're not You're
not doing a production
money.
In there.
Yeah, you don't have the money to hire someone to go into After Effects and take you out all the mirrors.
This is for the memories. This is not a phone in sight. People just living in the moment, I think.
Yeah.
Can't be filming in there.
You know what would be funny is a porn movie getting like a lot of praise for something being done all in one take, all in one shot. They're like, it's a one shot. And it's like, yeah, you can tell.
Dogma 95 porno.
Yeah, this iPhone set up in a closet is all one shot.
I do feel like once you understand like shooting, it does sort of take the mystique out of pornography. Like, I feel like it just really emphasizes how much everyone is acting when you just know enough to know, like, they had to like shoot coverage for this. Like, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
No, everyone
I
is
think-
in love in the porno. They're
Yeah.
having the time of their lives.
Definitely one
There's
of
way
the-
too much.
one
Way
of-
too much ADR in this porno.
Just, I don't know, when they like have a wide shot and then they cut in close, it's like that's not all happening at once. They had to do takes. They had to
Just
like
tell everyone to stop. Yeah.
yeah, and like switch up the angles and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kinda-
One of the
kind of makes
one of the
it
types
less fun.
This is bullshit. You can tell they're sweetening the laughs.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the types of media where like behind the scenes is vastly less intimate than the actual product. Because you got to just not be like, okay, there's probably like way more footage of this guy cranking off in a chair
Yeah.
while they move equipment than there is of the actual act. You just got to,
Yeah.
it's a suspension of disbelief. No.
It's just
It's
it
romantic.
seems it seems very tedious, a lot of it. But
That's what you hear whenever you see those interviews with like porn stars and stuff. Is they're like, it's slow and tedious. Hurry up and wait. That's the classic film thing. Made
Yeah.
even worse when you
have to be hard the whole time. Yeah, crank it off in a chair.
yeah.
It's no good.
Any movie would be very hard to do if you had to be hard the whole time.
It's a real
Agreed.
physical feat. Yeah. Not it's like being an athlete or something. A very specific form of athlete.
A lot of calories. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what the like what they did for restitution to these things. But apparently a lot of the like sex workers who were in this hotel were like propositioning the staff, try like the airline staff. They apparently heard quote drug deals and prostitution as well as a quote 24-hour orgy, which I don't know. You can't tell those are all the same people. I feel like that's just people be fucking. I don't know if you can be like, there's a start and a stop time. Maybe.
They keep saying their name out loud. If someone's
Yeah,
yelling, their name
they're verifying themselves periodically.
Yeah. I also think some of the flight attendants probably, but like also I feel like aren't some flight attendants kind of known for being like heavy partiers? It's
Rowdy.
Like kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe some of them were like, this is where I would have gone. This is just, I don't have to go back. I don't have to pretend I slept somewhere else. This is, see, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. If it keeps happening, that'll be bad. But once it's a
I just
funny
feel like the
story.
airline should like refund them or something. But they do say, despite the mistake, there was no delay in their next flight. They all made it. Again, like I don't know if I want a guy flying a plane who couldn't sleep because of sex noises.
That is a real issue. It does feel like a real issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But they all made it.
I already just do the mental work, and I think most of it was like pretending that every pilot is the most perfect person that's ever existed, and just
Sure.
not being like, just pretending that my plane is not being flown by someone with foibles. Period. I mean, like,
Yeah.
no.
We all get on a plane and immediately forget we watched the rehearsal. That's very important.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Forget all those clips of Flight from YouTube shorts of drunk Denzel Washington flying a plane. Push them away.
Did you ever see that movie, or you're just on YouTube Shorts
Just
like
the
most
YouTube
other
Shorts.
things?
Just the
You're
YouTube
getting
shorts.
a real cinema education from YouTube Shorts.
A lot of John Bernthal. Love John Bernthal in the shorts. Doing great work. A lot of John Bernthal, a lot of Mobland, a lot of Tom Hardy, a lot of Alpha stuff on the shorts, Alpha movies, a lot of Moneyball. Have watched maybe half of Moneyball through shorts at this point.
That like it was so crazy to me that New York Times top 100 films. Did you guys see that list?
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
the top 100 films of the this century so far. People fucking love Moneyball, dude. It was so high up. I knew it was like people liked it, but it was like in the top 50. Moneyball. I don't know,
People
man.
love Moneyball.
That was
they
wild.
Love someone cracking a system. And then it's true story-ish, You got Jonah Hill, you got Brad Pitt sitting back in chairs and popping bubble gum. That's all people need. That's a dad.
guess.
It's a recipe for success.
It's not a bad movie. I was just like, wow, people are a lot of Moneyball heads I didn't know about.
The pieces of it I've seen on YouTube Shorts are good. Yeah. Should we do number 3 or what is it? Number 2? My God.
Number 2.
Today. Number 2.
Number 2 comes to us from Pappy Land, and this is a legal news from the Midwest. It's state-wise. It's brother against brother. It's Minnesota against Wisconsin. You hate to see these two fight, which are, two states that I definitely don't mix up all the time. I definitely tell them apart. I definitely know they're very different. And
I wonder if they have a complex about that, because everybody else is always doing it. Is there a rivalry there? I don't know.
I did just see a post from somebody who'd moved out of New York and was like, okay, I get why everyone hates New Yorkers now. And it was just a text from somebody that's like, hey, how's Michigan? And then a second text was like, Minnesota, sorry. Just getting them constantly mixed up. So, all right.
Fair enough.
It's just that New Yorker cover, but real. So this is a sausage-related battle that's going on right now.
Not doing much to dispel the stereotypes I have about this part of the country.
Yeah.
Hormel Foods is suing its competitor Johnsonville. These are two sausage outfits. I mean, Hormel sells other stuff, obviously, too. I'm sure Johnsonville does. But
Hormel mostly known for slop, in my experience. But
yeah,
Spam.
I'm going Team Johnsonville
Spam.
on here.
Well, Johnsonville apparently is the bad guy here, according to this lawsuit. So,
oh man,
the former director of operations for Hormel was hired by Johnsonville, and I guess the claim is that he then solicited another Hormel employee who was still on the inside to give up some secrets and some sausage secrets, sausage formulas, procedures. Strategies,
protocols,
sausage strategies. Yeah,
fucking Operation Sausage Clip. They're like bringing him over and being like, "Show us how,"
And apparently, I mean, the way this went down does not seem like the most artful bit of tradecraft here. Corporate espionage. The guy accepted a job offer to work, to change from Hormel to Johnsonville, from the guy who already switched over, but did not leave right away, and instead was forwarding, quote, highly sensitive, confidential, proprietary, and trade secret information to his personal email account. So he was going from work to personal. So from Mike Smith at Hormel.com to Mike Smith, 86 at gmail.com or whatever. That's pretty easy to track. So
I do feel like if I suspect anyone of espionage, the very first thing I'm doing is filtering from this to this list of emails. There we go. Yeah. Like, come on.
So
literally would be probably better to spend your last day with a prominent external hard drive on your desk. Like, just piping information into it than to, at least there's not a record of that, like on a server. You were sending yourself all this stuff.
I don't know exactly, this guy, the guy who was still Hormel, got caught. They basically took him into the windowless room in the back or whatever and started asking him what was going on. He admitted he'd been sending the stuff. They sent a forensic collection kit for his cell phone, so I guess they can find out what was on the phone. Again, good. If you have a company phone, it is not your property. You have no expectation of privacy in what's going on there, so that's just a good reminder of that. Yeah. But he gave them the address to do this. The address was apparently, allegedly, the address of the other guy who had already left. I don't know why he gave them the wrong, a different address of where his phone was. I don't know who's being fooled by this. I don't know. Kind of a strange way for this to have all come out, but lawsuit. He got fired. Lawsuit time. So we'll see what happens. But it's if you can't keep your sausage secrets, what do you have left in this business?
I know, they can't.
Grinder.
What
did you tell them?
I mean, among other things, Hormel makes Little Sizzlers pork sausage, so that's a fun little thing to say.
Little Sizzlers.
Somebody
There's little
Hormel.
pigs in a blanket size, Vienna size.
Yeah, they're like breakfast sausage is just it's I don't know, the size of your ring finger, kind of, right?
The kind Eli's eaten barehanded for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know that the appealing way to combine to think about sausage is which finger it's the
which
most
finger it is.
Yeah.
I know they can't do it because the whole point is that it's trade secrets. But I really want to know what the secret, the meaningful sausage production secrets, like that would help give the other competitor an edge. Like what have you discovered?
For Hormel, it's like, this is the brand of sawdust that is people
Right.
who taste the least. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
We
for-
fixed the ratio perfectly for
That's the kind of stuff that you would hear in processing techniques. So yeah, I think it is something like that.
fillers,
like
types of gums.
ways to do it cheaper, ways to
who's your gum hookup for the sausage? Who do you get
whatever
your gums from.
whatever crazy chemicals or things have been created so exclusively for this, to make the
Thickeners,
sausage.
whiteners.
Let me be completely clear. I am still eating that garbage.
Absolutely.
Happily.
Oh, yeah.
Like thrilled. A nice Johnsonville on the grill. Absolutely.
I don't know how
Johnsonville's
the
are
sausage
solid.
is made.
Hormel, I will admit, Hormel is not something I seek out. Because Hormel to me is the canned horrible chili. Like the canned chili that comes out and you're like, is this condensed? And it's like, no, it's just old. It's just
Yeah.
like
It comes out
cylinder.
in the shape of the can. Hard to break
Condensed
up.
chili.
Yeah.
Hormel really, the brand name, they gotta like have some subsidiaries or something because there are some negative associations there for sure.
It says
Not a
here,
great
I'm
word name. Yeah.
just checking the pod email here. We got an email from a rep for Hormel asking if we wanted to do a
Yeah.
probably
trying to-
rescinding that one.
They saw Huel and they were like, well, we can do that. We can offer people a cup of fucking slop and like meal replacement.
you love
Hormel canned
Huel?
chili.
Do you love Huel but wish there was meat in it? We have a product for you.
Yeah.
One thing you're missing from your Huel.
Cup
meat.
of slop. Come on, that's
Dude,
a
Huel-
tough phrase. Cup of slop.
Can I like FOIA Huel and be like, how much venture capitalist money has gone into you trying to make like microwavable corn gruel like a viable
The golden
meal?
nectar that we all love.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I guess
It's
yeah, but I feel like
fraud.
Johnsonville, they might be that's why I'm almost confused. I'm like, to me, I wouldn't think Johnsonville would want any of Hormel's secrets. It feels like a step back. It's got to be just efficiency.
That's just consumer, perception. That has nothing to do with the actual. That's just brand identity, baby. They don't care. They're like, people trust us. We can put more sawdust in here if it'll work.
We got some wiggle room. Well, there's also apparently we all know breakfast sausage. Apparently, there's also something called, because I'm just reading them. There's been modest growth in the dinner sausage category. Dinner sausage.
Dinner sausage.
We need to corner the market on lunch sausage here. That's really
yeah.
the market sector that's lacking. Just maybe it has like half sage in it. Or
Sausage for dinner?
Yeah.
It
Sausage
may
puffs?
sound crazy. trying the
Johnsonville puffs.
viral dinner sausage.
Yeah.
There does seem to be like a real like ethnic split over the meal at which you eat sausage, right? Because like breakfast sausage, always like a country pork and sage. A dinner sausage, you're usually talking an Italian most of the time. Like, I wonder why that is, that we have given different cultural regions dominion over different meal sausages.
Need
You
to
know?
break the
You
cycle.
go to the more
We need to break this.
sausage-heavy Europe, the realms of sausage-heavy Europe cuisines. They got a lot going on, which
Everybody's got one.
There. I wasn't going to go there, but I did look it up because I was getting hot, and there it is. Apparently, maybe an Eastern European thing. That's the finger sausage. There was a post from a Hungarian man being like, "This is." So I'm just being very Hungarian. They would accept me over there with open arms.
Oh,
Popping those
the
sausages in.
popping barehanded
Loose.
sausage.
Going in. But yeah, they do seem like, speaking of like lunch and dinner sausages, it does seem like something that would have been in weird, when you could see those like Lunchables or TV dinners that were pretty clearly just like whatever they weren't selling enough of, and so it would be a strange meal, one of those sort of things.
Lunchable's still around. Lunchable's still around, right? They still make those.
Yeah, and the Mr. Beast ones with mold in them. They're that's part of the market too of that. I don't know who's buying them still. Maybe they're really cheap. Like if they're really inexpensive, maybe
Feastables.
they're doing well. Yeah.
The pizza was always the one, and it's like, that's too far for me, because it's like it's not even, you don't even
It's a
heat it up or
cracker.
anything, right? It's just like
Yeah.
a cracker with like ketchup and like shredded cheese on it. and cold
Yeah.
pepperoni, cold uncooked pepperoni.
I don't think I've ever eaten a Lunchable. I got to be honest. I don't think.
I was not too heavy on cold cuts. Not a cold cut fan. Lunchable cold cuts and other.
We've
step
talked
down.
about this. You were a soup guy. You had the soup.
yeah.
This guy's bringing a damn soup.
Thermos boy.
Guy's got a damn
little hot
little consomme.
like going in with a miner's lunch, a little tin box with my thermos, a pasty perhaps.
Yeah,
You got-
full plowman style.
Real lunch pail kid. He's a ham and egger.
Did both have shepherd's pie and pot pie both in the rotation on my lunches. So yeah, I would be a real plowman's lunch.
I love the phrase ham and egger. It's such a good phrase. Surreal. It's much better than journeyman or something. Ham and egger.
ham and egger
Yeah,
Salt of the earth. Love it.
yeah.
out there.
Eating special teams lunches. Just the lunch of a punt returner. Could be moving at any moment.
Good etymology of that one too. Apparently that's from boxing. So like a poor boxer just gets enough to pay for food. So it's
Pay for
like you
ham
get
and eggs.
You get like a ham and egg, yeah, or you just
That's-
get ham and eggs.
You're
Fighting
paid in
for
ham
his-
and eggs.
Fighting for his lunch.
I was paid in barbecue multiple times when I did comedy in Texas. So I guess that makes me a ham and egger. A
Cast a
form
ham
of a
and
ham and
egger.
egger. There's a really good Instagram account called Ham and Eggers that posts extremely obscure pro wrestling jobbers, like guys who did 2 matches and just lost to like the big star that was coming through the territory. It like posts their name and they're delightful.
Tomato can sort of guys.
Yeah, it's just always like a guy shaped like a fire hydrant in like a baggy singlet. Let me see if I can pull up a good name.
Yeah.
From
Talk
the
about
ham and
visceral food-based nicknames. Tomato can. Horrible thing to be. His
here we
blood
got-
spills everywhere.
We got a guy from WCW named Tim Cheeks. That's a good one.
Okay.
A dude just named
Bobson Dugnut?
exactly. They're all Bobson Dugnut level. There's this guy who came out in sort of like a Power Rangers getup, and his name is just Kwang, Kwang. Van Horn, 2 vans. This is a great Instagram account.
Quang is incredible. I mean, that's
Quang.
that's a cyberpunk like vending machine drink.
I
Quang.
gotta show you Kwang. It is like an onomatopoeia, kind of. Here is Kwang for you guys.
Here is Quang. Me to the visitors to my science fiction apartment. Here's Quang, you guys. Okay.
And this, of course,
This
is
is, I think, at least partly built out of a Halloween costume that I owned at one point.
Yes.
Quang
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real staples of like shitty wrestling costumes for people with no money. It's one part store-bought Halloween costume, one part their high school football gear, and then some like rollerblading pads. That's always kind of the vibe. And then maybe some kind of vinyl, like those really plasticky flags. I feel like there's always one of those involved. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
I mean, wrestling fashion is at its best. It's good for wrestling, but then I'm always confused by the people who are like, it would be cool to look like that on the street. And it's like, no, it wouldn't. You don't. That's a ring thing. You gotta.
The problem is that like a lot of them, they have parts of their look for wrestling that like you can't get rid of. Like there are a lot of like middle-aged white guys with cornrows out there that just have to have that all the time because you're not like undoing that every week and then redoing it every weekend. Like that just has to be your hair when you go to the DMV or whatever. So commitment, man.
Can't get that stuff yanked. It's like it's like combat sports, MMA, where everybody has cornrows because it's like, well, that's it has an actual function and purpose. And then
Can't
it just
yank
sort of
'em.
looks like you got back from spring break and went straight to the octagon. That's just part of it. So,
Number 1?
number 1.
Yeah.
And this week's number 1 reason to say what a time to be alive.
Shelby really going in on that this week.
Getting our money's worth. This story comes to us from Otter Chaos in the Discord. This is a story of victory against all odds. I'm I'm not even going to go and say clearing some hurdles, but there's a joke to be made there. You can make it yourself. I'm not going to, it's below me, but you can put it together. This is about a hurdler who won a 400-meter race. They, sorry, there's so that, I'll add that in a moment, but I scrolled down and was greeted with something. Yeah, so he won a 400-meter race despite some real struggles during the race, most notably that as he was racing, if you've ever seen anyone hurdle, you know there's a lot of leg spreading, quick, violent leg spreading.
Gotta have very limber hip flexors, those guys.
Oh, yeah, big time. So he won, but the entire time he was racing, his dick and balls repeatedly freed themselves from his little hurdling shorts, which not a lot of coverage on the hurdling shorts. You gotta have maximum mobility.
I mean, you can't have them be baggy because presumably it counts against you if they hit the hurdle, right? Isn't that how that works, or is it only against you if you knock it over?
Well, but they go over like nothing, right? Because they're not like they're like a L-shaped thing. They're designed to just like give if you so much as brush them. Because I think the old kind, they were like, well, somebody misses one, then their leg is ripped open or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, I hit a hurdle and severed my femoral artery. Hey. So yeah, he went out. They were trying to find, unsurprisingly, not a lot of people were watching the hurdling live, and footage of it has been somewhat limited, scrubbed a bit from the internet, which I'm sure the guy's pretty happy about. But yeah, and then this is in Czechia, the Ostrava Golden Spike. So if any of our listeners follow the Golden Spike every year, then you've seen this.
They did give it a great name.
Yeah.
Like that does make me interested. I feel like I'm sort of surprised that hurdlers don't like tuck their shit up in there more. Because again, like anything hanging down is going to be a liability to you. I'm just surprised there's not like a cup or something involved.
A supporter. I wonder if it's a deal like in football, why they don't wear cups because it's like causes problems more than it prevents or whatever. You know,
well,
like there's something
with like that's impact. Like that I understand. Hurdle, I don't think that's going to cause that much of a problem, right? I don't know.
Maybe they've done wind tunnel testing, and they're like, actually, the momentum of your ball sack helps you get extra height. You need that swing if you get into the right rhythm.
That's possible.
But
there's very small variations, but can lead to huge outcomes. We're talking about hundredths of a second here, so you need every advantage you can get.
But it would seem that aerodynamics would be paramount. I mean, if you're really serious, you get it all shaved right off, go Nello style, just to get that extra couple millionths of a second.
if it mattered enough, they would all be wearing like bathing caps and shit. You know what I mean?
Right,
clearly, nobody would be giving up that that edge to not have the cap on. So it must not be that.
They might have stepped in like swimming did, because technology was getting so far with like swimming uniforms,
with bathing suits and stuff. Yeah. With swimming uniforms, with bathing costumes. The bathing costumes are getting too advanced.
Yeah. I think that's a fair, like if they got to that point where all sprinters were wearing bathing caps, basically like little latex caps, I think that it would be fair for them to be like, this looks stupid, and we're just going to even the playing field. Like it just,
shave your head if it means that much to you.
Yeah. Also banning shaving their head. Like, no. You got to have beautiful. Look, this is going to be on TV, and we are struggling with it as it is. So we just got to get this going.
The bald man's time is now. That's It's like being bald is like how Michael Phelps has the genetic the super long arms and stuff. But being bald is now an advantage.
Unfortunately, it's I think almost every bald man also has incredibly tight hip flexors. Those are two things go hand in hand. If I have any experience. God, just one of those things that's in my head forever of like, I'm not a flexible man. And they made us do a test when I rode crew where you put your feet against a box and you had to reach and see how, and I couldn't reach the box. And they were like, can you not even hit 0? And I was like, clearly I can't. So let's just write it down, X out the box, whatever you need to do. Yeah. But here's the thing.
Good? Were you good at rowing?
I was okay. I definitely, there was a lack of effort involved for me because
Sure.
I didn't like doing it. And I was mostly doing it because all my friends did it, and it was either do that or be alone.
Sure.
But I was okay. I was middle of the pack. And my coach was frustrated that I didn't care more. But that, unfortunately, because I didn't care, wasn't a strong motivator. I wasn't like, oh, well, I'm disappointing
I'm
Bill.
letting my coach down. Yeah. Not
I was
gonna
like,
matter.
Yeah, if he was like, it doesn't seem like you're really trying, I'd be like, okay, and that's fine with me. So you have nothing to offer me.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was
Am I not going to get a scholarship?
Yeah,
I was just wondering because like
in a boat
you are
a couple times.
right. Well, because like you're tall, which makes you like that's who they want at the front of the boat is somebody with really long, like an ability to have really long rowing strokes. But if you have no reach, it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah, no, I was good, and then I think they also found like I was competitive enough that during the races I wouldn't be slacking off or anything. Like I'd really be. And I think eventually the coach had to realize that there was just going to be a pretty significant gap between the numbers I'm putting up during training and what my performance would be on the field. Where it's like,
right.
Look, man, I'm sitting on an erg in a hallway. I'm not going to go crazy here. But I think I had a decent time as far as I went to the erg championships, which what a horrible place.
Nightmare.
God.
Torture chamber.
A horrible thing to do to anybody. Yeah. It was mandatory, in case you were wondering, and I would not have liked to do it. But
Anyway.
yeah, so
Erg championships?
Yeah. They put you in a room
just-
with a bunch of rowing machines, and it's like
Yeah. No, I know what the erg is, but like, I didn't realize they had like that itself was that's
competitive.
Yeah.
it's
that's
like
right.
every bit of joy sapped out of it, and they just go row 2,000 meters as fast as you can on this machine in a
It's
gym.
rowing without any of the parts that are enjoyable. It's really fucking warehouse. Thumbs down.
You got to drive out to some fucking high school in like Virginia, and then go there, and there's like a line of kids that are waiting to puke into a trash can because they just did their 2K test. It's like, wow, this is athletics, baby. This is great. But yeah, and then they were like, because they're like, oh, being next to all those other people racing, but you can't see anybody's screen, so you don't know how well anyone was. Actually, I think they did.
They're not moving.
I think they did have a screen up where you just saw like a leaderboard, so you could kind of look up at it. But horrible thing.
Yeah, I feel like I did one of those
in.
I feel like I did one of those in Boston once, and it was miserable. I like tried to erg for exercise, like in the last couple of years, and it's like, oh right, I remember why I fucking hated this. I'm just gonna walk in the park. That's gonna be that'll be fine.
It's not a good. The only advantage is people like it actually works out your whole body, and it's like but it's so not. It's fun. People who think it's fun are not to be rude, but it's like if you think erging is fun, you're probably just doing it wrong. You probably don't have good form, because it sucks ass.
Yeah. Anyway, tell me about this guy's dick and balls.
Yeah, his dick and balls. Now that, really, now another sport where it would be great not to have them. But they popped out. The most incredible thing here to me that really got this story onto the show, to be honest, is that he still won with that happening, which you got to be, this guy's, sausage and beans are flying all over the place and he's still way ahead of you. Plus, that means everyone had to watch him. Nobody even got to be ahead of him and not see. Maybe that's why he won. I would be pretty distracted if somebody in front of me, their dick and balls were hanging out.
They're looking at his back. They can't see.
Well, if they're hanging out the shorts, you can see him from the back.
Was he
I guess you could see it
every time he jumped? I feel like that's like crazy that he still won when he's doing all these things.
He must not have been fixing it. I feel like you can't. You're not stopping and readjusing after that. You're just going. Yeah. It's like when people shit themselves during the marathon. Yeah. You just gotta roll with it. But it does seem disrespectful after having a guy swinging his dick around while he beats you is real insult to injury,
Oh yeah, it's like old school, like first Olympics level domination, just very toxically masculine, being wrestled to the ground by a nude man.
Yeah.
And the thing that made me laugh earlier is that this is all. So the reporting is this is in Czechia, but they're Finnish newspapers reporting on them. One of them, the headline. I can't read the first part of it, but the second part of the headline is "Efter penischocken." penis, P-E-N-I-S, penis, C-H-O-C-K-E-N, penis shuckin'.
Penis shuckin'.
Yeah. Which I guess means...
It's handy to have a single word for that.
Okay. Okay, so they do have a Czech Twitter account that frequently posts gay porn. Uploaded a clip from the race.
Tight.
So there's something. I'll give you guys a breakdown of how much I can see here.
You're getting the latest here from the race, and it appears to be a very muscular nude Shrek. I'm not sure what's going on here.
He's trying to fix it.
He is trying to fix it?
It's quite obvious that it... I mean, I'll share with you guys if you'd like to see it. The balls are not that noticeable. You got to kind of squint, and you're like, oh yeah, there's some extra in the shorts. But obviously, it's a very rhythmic sport of running.
Right,
and
it's swinging
the full
around.
dick is out, and it is like slapping against his stomach occasionally.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna. The commentary trying to deal with this. Wow. Yeah. That's rough.
It's like you remember those prank videos people would show you where it would be like really hard to hear or be a maze, and it was designed to get you to look really close at the screen, and then the Exorcist face would jump out.
Yep.
That's the first time his like full dick like swings out, because I'm like, is that? And then you're like, oh, okay, it's out. So, hey, congratulations though to this guy.
Congratulations on your dick and balls and your win.
Here's a photo of him. He kind of does a somersault in exhaustion after winning. And there you go, Patty. I'm sure you don't want to see that, but you can get a look. It's fully...
Oh, it is so out.
I don't want to see that. Is he... Yeah, wow. He's on the ground, too? Okay, yeah, Jesus. All right. Yep, that's a real... Lenny Kravitz situation.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz is really the main point of comparison here. That's how much out it is.
Or that one vine of the guy at the guy at like the wedding.
The wedding?
Like, suit pants split.
It's so funny.
Is insane.
Who's doing like a silly move and then it's just like blomp.
Yeah, he's like ironically discoing, and then it is instantly.
It's so regrettable that there's so many instances of like really bad exposure, because like it's such a funny organ, especially while not active. That
right, while not serving its purpose, it just being there is hilarious.
How dare these creeps take away the joy of just an accidental penis flopping out and be like, whoa.
Okay, yeah, I found a GIF of that one online, and it really is like it's like as he just moves his knees apart, it just like plop, and it like
springs forth.
It's so fun, so funny.
It springs forth. It really dying to get out. Also, going commando to a wedding seems classless to me.
Not comfortable either. To me, but
he had to have busted the.
You think it was a double layer bust out? I don't think so.
What was the underwear made out of?
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a cloth hospital gown on under there.
Good GQ headline about that one. Well, this is the worst suit malfunction of all time. It's like, well, yeah, it's not what you want from a suit, when you're putting on a suit.
Hope he didn't rent it.
Yeah. Right. Well, if he rent, maybe he can get his money back. Hey, man.
You don't know what you've done to me.
That's like
Men's Warehouse. You are responsible for the darkest moment of my life.
Like for whatever reason,
please
like the
elaborate
main
on the
reason
reason. Please elaborate on the reason for return, and it's just a link to the GQ article. Just no commentary.
It's like yeah. Guess what? The main reason that clothes exist. This did not do that.
You have failed the sole purpose of clothing.
The one area for men that clothes exist. The reason that we have
I seem to remember you guys telling me that I was going to like the way I looked, guaranteed, and I have some evidence to the contrary.
Damn, using that guy's words against him.
Yeah, dearly departed, man. Isn't that guy gone?
He gone?
He was pretty old.
James Warehouse. Yeah,
his name's James Warehouse, of course.
His name was Men's Warehouse.
Wow, he's still around. He's younger than I thought. Jeez.
Wow.
He's only 76. I thought because I thought of him as an old guy.
Such an establishment.
in the early 2000s when those ads were on. But
I mean, it might have been a thing where you thought he was an old guy because you were young and he was really like 42. You know what I mean?
But he had like fully gray hair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So it's Steve Martin, man.
That's true.
Maybe he just saw a ghost in his life.
Maybe he saw a ghost.
How about that?
That's what happened to Steve Martin.
Yeah.
People don't know
Kath,
that.
Did you have a bit about like Dress Barn and businesses being named? Is that part of your burlesque clothes? Okay.
No, yeah, I had a joke about plus size clothes that I used to do, but I do not believe I referenced Dress Barn. But
somebody had a dress.
Come in here, you fucking cow! Get in the stable. Dress Barn. To be fair, Dress Barn was not a plus size store. It was just a regular dress place. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Well, I think maybe it was somebody's bit who didn't do the full, but it was also like that where I was like, there is like Men's Warehouse, which is really, especially for a formal, like supposedly formal thing.
But it's Warehouse. A pun. It's a pun.
Yeah. Casual Male XL. Devastating name to play. Walking into a place called Casual Male XL is crazy.
The Casual Male.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's Casual Male XL sounds kind of cool. Like when I think about that, I think about like mid 90s R&B clothes. That's what I think about. Okay. Which that's pretty cool. Boys to Men.
Cool if you're not XL. Yeah. Cool if you're going and leaning into the baggy thing. Or you could be like Big
I just
Pun.
think about in The Wire, there's like a sexy scene with Idris Elba, and he kind of is like brushing off this lady because she's trying to give him D'Angelo's clothes, I think. And he's like, I wear an XL. And he walks out. It's like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
If you're an XL in the way Idris Elba is an XL, then it's cool.
Yeah, not that picture of like Big Pun and Fat Joe in the suits. Where they look like Kate Sith. They look like a fucking Final Fantasy summon. Look like the damn Knights of the Round.
Yeah, they got a cat with a megaphone on their shoulder. That's right.
To be clear, love them both. Sure. As far as the information I have currently about them, but
I must say, every time he comes up, I saw Fat Joe at Katz's Deli once, and he was not fat anymore, and he was very nice.
No,
to
he's
everyone.
lost a lot of weight. But the name stuck. Can't be Skinny Joe. So yeah,
we should do
calling him Medium Joe.
Medium Joe.
Medium Joe.
Mid-size Joe. Mid-size sedan.
Find our Patreon bonus episodes, merch, Discord, and more at whatatimepod.com. And follow us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at whatatimepod. Check out Kath's other podcast, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. Theme song by Naughty Professor. Thanks for listening, and best of luck.
I have a show July 10th at, drumroll please.
You gotta go vamp so that we can do our classic. Blah, blah,
vamp.
Blah, 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 blah.
Vamp. I don't. Okay, you have to stop because I can't do my plug over this. It's too loud. It's at Wild East Brewing on July 10th at, I believe, 8 p.m. Yes, so come to that. It is free. Anybody else?
I got no shows, but hey, I've been streaming on Twitch again. It's been a little irregular because I had obligations. We'll put it that. But yeah, on Mondays.
Eli had a debt that must be repaid.
I was returning some videotapes, and but Mondays and Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, I've been doing that. And then keep an eye out. I'm still getting my special ready. It'll be about a month from now, the end of July. I don't have an exact date yet, but that'll be dropping.
That's around your birthday, right?
It is, which I'm going to use to guilt people. And like, hey, better
doxing him.
This.
Yeah.
I got nothing. So, check out the top 100 movies on the New York Times. Watch one of those.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.